Hello, 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 hello. This is Tevs of the Unknown, and I'm here with another reaction. This one is called Ranking the Bat Family from Weakest to Strongest by Crisis. I did a video of his. I believe it was Nightwing is better than Batman. I still stand by that. Um, Thing is, in this one, I'm interested to see. I feel like Nightwing is better than Batman, obviously. But I think from what I've heard and seen in some of the comics, uh, Cassandra Kane could be it. I know I've seen some people talk about it online, and I had to go and look through you know comic book lore and whatnot, and so I think Cassandra Kane. I'm gonna go with that because that she did, because I do remember in that when they had the Batman and Robin Eternal storyline, um, that when she came encountered with Dick, she literally dropped his ass. Now, granted, she came out of nowhere. I think no, she didn't come out of nowhere. I'm mistaken. He tried to get answers from her, and she literally just dropped him on his ass with ease. So I think Cassandra Kane could very well be it. I know she has some other amazing feats, but that's the one I remember most of all. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with her. So, as long I still feel like Nightwing's better than Batman. So if he's at least in like top five and not 5, 4, 3, 2, I mean 5, 4, 3, we're good. Cause I'm thinking, cause Damien's pretty good too, but I feel like Damien's a little bit more impulsive, so that's why I don't feel like he's at the top of the list. He may be top 10, but I don't know. I'm just throwing out my, because he has the technique and whatnot. It's just his impulsiveness and his need for like his bloodlust. I feel like he is oh, excuse me. I feel like he's like he wouldn't be top 10 just because of that. Because he doesn't know how to channel his emotions correctly. So I feel like he doesn't make top 10. That's my viewpoint. I know other people may have it different. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and jump right into this. See what Crisis got for us here, man. Into the unknown we go, people.
In 2017, Tom King, who by now has written nearly 300 issues of DC Comics, with the vast bulk of them starring Batman or his related characters, ranked the top
I want to say this, but oh shit, let me play it later.
10 fighters.
Okay. I would say, man, that Grayson era to me was I think low key one of Nightwing's best, one of Dick Grayson's best comics. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I wouldn't mind seeing that in the DCU eventually, as it's being told, because Dick Grayson can do a lot of things and be whoever the hell he wants to be, and I think it would be a pretty cool thing for him to have that choice to either be the hero or to be an agent, because they're two different things. There's certain things you have to do as an agent that would really truly compromise and really kind of destroy oneself in a way. So I think that would be a really cool concept. And also, I think that Tom Cruise should direct it if they do it, because Dick Grayson is Agent 47 stuff is very Agent 47, Agent 37. I believe Agent 47 is Hitman. Agent 37. His it just feels very Mission Impossible. You know, it's got that aura. So I feel like if Tom Cruise ever wants to do a DC movie, he should do that. I think that would be really cool for him to do. But like I said, they got to cast the right Dick Grayson, and that's kind of hard to do because people always want, like, his eyes have to be blue. He has to be 5'9", 5'10", somewhere around there. He's got to be Romani. It's all that. Here's the thing. I'm all for about representation, but that shit is tough. If you expect somebody to have all of that, somehow something's gonna be left out of the cold. Now, the 5'9", 5'10" is not that hard to find an actor like that, or someone with blue eyes. But I think it's really hard to find someone with Romani. Now, you can always bring up the Romani character and really have it played out, because that's what it's always been. Acting has always been that way, and I don't like the fact that people want, like, how do I say this? I don't want people to, like, say, well, this person can't play it because they don't have this or they don't have that, and it to the point where nobody's ever happy. You know what I mean? So I feel like if they're not Romani, I'm fine with that. And there's probably people that Romani that would probably be pissed off at me for saying that. But if you could represent Romani or tell the story of the folklore in such a way with Dick Grayson that honors that representation, then I think that's pretty cool. But I can also see why some people will feel slighted by it. But honestly, I think it's really hard to find somebody who's 5'10", blue eyes, or whatever, and represents Romani character. Because let me tell you something, that is tough. You know what I mean? Even Brenton Thwaites, he was like none of that. He did not have blue eyes, and he did not have brown hair. I mean, he did not have black hair, and he did not. He was not 5. He was not 5'10", 5'11". Let me see Brenton Thwaites. Let me see his height. I know I'm getting way off track here, but I'm just saying. Let me see Brenton Thwaites' height. I'm looking on here. I'm sorry. I don't want to. Brenton Thwaites' height. 6 feet. See? 6 feet. 5. So he's 5 feet 11 and a half inches. But I'm just saying, you're never gonna find somebody with all those characteristics. And for me, I feel like finding somebody Romani in the acting community they could surprise me. Okay, they could surprise me and have somebody like that. You never know, but that shit is rare. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. But honestly, I just want a Dick Grayson that looks the part and can honestly act the part. I mean, that's my viewpoint. I know other people are going to have opinions, and and you can have those opinions. I'm not saying anybody can't. I'm just saying from my viewpoint, it's kind of hard to have somebody have everything. Like, if this guy was Romani and he didn't have blue eyes, and he was at least 5'11", like Brenton Thwaites, or 6 feet tall, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that the actors don't have to have everything that is part of a character, of a comic book character. That's all I'm saying. Man, I really hope I didn't dig myself into much of a hole, because I know some people are gonna probably, if anybody really cares enough, they'll probably clip it and put some, like, not play the whole clip of this video or not play this thing, and it's just, that would suck. But, like, that is my viewpoint. In my viewpoint, I think it's harder to find somebody with Romani to play, a comic book character, to say the least. I mean, like, to be very specific. But if they could find somebody with Romani, with a Romani background, and just looks like Dick Grayson, and you can feel like he's Dick Grayson, I would be all for that. But I'm just saying, that shit is rare. Because I've been trying to fan cast him for like forever, and I'd be typing in Romani, and nothing. I get nothing. I don't really get anything, and I just can't. I just don't see it. So yeah, and please, for the love of God, let's not put freaking Timothy Chalamet in there, because there's no way in hell I would ever cast him to be Nightwing. I'm sorry, no. That meme with Mario going, no. That's me. Alright, I just veered way off the damn topic. Anyways, Tom King got Cassandra, Dick. Okay, 2, 3, Bruce, Damian. Damian is at 4? Well, you consider the list. That's tough, though. I'm not necessarily bad at the list. Jason getting hoed, though. Hold up now. Jason getting hoed. I think Jason should be at least 5. 6 Helena, 5 Kate. Come on. And nothing against Duke. Tim is 10. Okay. Okay, now I know y'all home. Come on. I mean, this fighter's... hand-to-hand combat. Okay, I don't know much about Duke. So I'm not going to say so much, I guess, about Duke. So I don't know. But Jason at 7, that is crazy. Alright, let me just go.
In the BatFamily. Even more recently, the current architects of DC Comics, Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson, are about to release both DCKO and Night Fight comic events, admittedly throwing bones to the power-scaling community. One will see various DC heroes, including many BatFamily members, wielding new and unique weapons to see who can be the most ruthless among them in order to challenge Darkseid, more powerful than ever before. And the other will see Batman sporting seemingly new god-derived armor and a Klingon-esque sword do battle with future versions of the Robins from Darkseid corrupted timelines, wherein they have each become Batmen of their own. Now seems like ample time to throw my educated 2
cool
cents in and rank the canon main timeline BatFamily members with their usual equipment. As opposed to Harley getting the Speed Force or dark alternate evil future versions, if we were to take Bruce Wayne as he stands now in the main Batman book and have him face Red Hood, would he actually win? Who is the strongest Robin between Damian and Tim Drake? Does Batgirl beat Batwoman? And do I still think Nightwing is superior to Bruce Wayne himself? Having already published over 2 hours of content breaking down many of these characters, which I implore you to watch if you're ever confused by what I'm about to say here, let's go in ascending order of combat aptitude and find out who is the best fighter in the BatFamily. Starting with Stephanie Brown, the very short-lived 4th Robin, mostly known as the Vigilante Spoiler, who has little in the way of martial arts skill. In the Convergence Batgirl tie-in, she narrates how she was equal to Tim Drake during his early days as Robin. In more modern times, she does manage to scrap with Lady Shiva after she herself swapped bodies with Cassandra Cain's Batgirl in Batgirl's number 13 from 2022. This seems very impressive on the face of it, Shiva being a better fighter than Bruce Wayne. However, like I said, Stephanie would be in a much stronger body and possibly benefit from the muscle memory of Cassandra Cain, with even an amnesiac Nightwing shown capable of unconsciously tapping into his own skills on the fly. Steph proves to be very unpredictable.
That Rick Grayson, hold on, I would say this, and I said, the Rick Grayson storyline was the worst thing to ever happen to Dick Grayson. That was El Horrible. That was trash. That was garbage. Never again do I want to see that shit. The only thing good about that was B. His love interest during that arc. B was the only good thing about it. That was it.
around Shiva's priceless furniture, but is still definitely beaten in about 2 pages. Around that time, in Batman vs. Robin number 3, Bruce states that Stephanie is less of a challenge than Tim Drake, while they are both demon-possessed, each boasting magically empowered weapons. She simply lacks great feats, her best ones have context, and Batman himself sees her as less capable than Tim Drake. Tom King put Duke Thomas, or the Signal, around here, and even years later, I'm inclined to agree. The insane killer Victor Zsasz sliced him open with one slash in All-Star Batman number 2, with the likes of Red Hood, Batman, and Nightwing beating Victor Zsasz over the years. He as well lost against the Red Hood and Catwoman in the New Talent Showcase 2017, and Batman one-shots him in Gotham War right next to Stephanie Brown.
Damn.
He just does not have it, despite his various superpowers. Damian...
Wait, he has superpowers and he got one... Bruh. Look, I knew about Duke from the All-Out Robin War, I believe. That's what it was called, the Robin War. And also Batman and Robin Internal. That... I didn't know he had superpowers. But seriously, one-shotted? Bruh. I don't know. It sounded like he should have been 10. I'm sorry. It sounded like Duke should have been 10 because if you have superpowers and your ass gets whooped on a constant daily basis, I'm sorry, man. Stephanie Brown was one thing. She had no powers, but she's trying to learn and shit. So her and Tim be on the same level, that's kind of crazy. But to have superpowers and not and get your ass handed to you nah.
Main's placement might prove to be a controversial one, but the fact remains that he still has a lot to prove. He suffered grievous losses to Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and even Harley Quinn. While Red Hood humbled his baby brother a good while ago, the third Robin outdid Damian in Gotham War well after Damian's most recent training arc. It's a little strange, as Tim implies he's lesser than the young Wayne in terms of sheer martial arts, but with weapons, Damian is quickly dispatched. Of course, this ranking is taking into account skill and standard equipment, so I really can't justify putting Damian any higher. He has a lot of potential, though, being as smart as his father, knowing all of his skills and contingencies, with the only...
That's kind of crazy. I don't know. This is probably one that I do not agree with. I don't think that he should be. No, that's tough. Okay.
Thing keeping him from matching Batman being his age and stature. With the next few entries, I can really only split hairs, as their best displays tend to be simply clashing with or pressing weakened versions of the true high tiers. Kate Kane, Batman's cousin, known as Batwoman, consistently outperforms Barbara Gordon since the New 52. She also stalemates a combat-wary Red Hood who recognizes Kate as the premier strategist among the BatFamily. However, as of Batwoman number 16 from 2018, she admits she could not face Batman in hand-to-hand at all, and instead plays the sound of the gunshot which took his parents' life to secure a victory. Similar to Stephanie...
that's cold, bro. I shouldn't be laughing, but that's fucked up shit, bro. Bro, why would you do that? Oh my god. Okay, I don't know the context of that story, but my damn, bro. I'm sorry, but that reminds me of that stupid ass clip that I keep seeing with fucking Scarecrow, where he was mocking Batman by having parents and Batman, parents. Batman was crying. That was fucked up, bro. And that is messed up, bro. I gotta say, that's really messed up. But if I feel like he would have done the same thing. Honestly, I feel like Bruce would have done the same thing if he was in a pinch. But yeah. Okay. That's cold-blooded though.
She just really doesn't have much in terms of impressive feats, but what she does have puts her at least around here. In the case of Barbara Gordon, she's maybe the most intelligent character here, as she rivals Bruce Wayne's detective skills while having a perfect memory and digital database all her own.
Oh, yeah,
Early on in the New 52, she definitely beats Spoiler.
See, all I was saying was that hand-to-hand wise, but if you want to go with the detective skill and all that other stuff, then yeah, she should be higher. Okay.
And in Rebirth, both Huntress and Barbara are shown to be roughly even to Black Canary, who was a better martial artist than Bruce Wayne at least sometime before Alfred's death. In Post-Crisis, she was known as the number 2 greatest fighter in the DC Universe, which the number 1 was typically understood to be Lady Shiva.
Yep.
This would also be
Helena
Bertinelli's placement
if the
greatest fighter in the DC Universe, which the number 1 was typically understood to be.
I literally have this book. That was one of the things I got, and I would read some of the stuff just to understand some of the comic book lore and shit like that. I have that one, and I have another one. I was supposed to get like an Omni book, and I'm still kind of miffed that I never got it from DCUniverse. When they had to say you're supposed to get an Omni book, I never got an Omni book. So I'm very pissed off about that. But it was an Omni book for like Teen Titans, like, and I was supposed to get it, and I never got it. I didn't want to make a big stink about it, just because I didn't sign up for DCUniverse because of that. I wanted to get, that Titans live action show, and Doom Patrol and all the other stuff. The Omni book was just like a thank you gift, I guess, like from DC Universe, but I never got that, and so I was a little miffed. So I ended up getting this, and this was pretty fucking cool. So yeah, I love this book.
Lady Shiva. This would also be Helena Bertinelli's placement if you consider her a BatFamily member as opposed to just a bird of prey. That said, Babs loses the Punchline in Nightwing number 72 in 2020, putting her in a similar tier as Damian and Tim, who both lost to Harley Quinn, who rivals Punchline, despite what Heroes in Crisis might lead you to believe. However, as of the recent story Hush 2, she can trade blows with a fatigued Batman, with the Dark Knight calling out how she has tech he's never seen. Damian did the same in Batman vs. Robin, fighting a weakened Bruce Wayne. However, Batman has actually upgraded his armor since then, as he constantly tends to do.
Yeah.
And compared to Batwoman, at least
he's like, every time he loses a fight, it's like, I have to get stronger. New armor, new gadgets, activate. I'm sorry, but this is so crazy to me, man.
Some kind of fight against Bruce Wayne. I mean, if we just compare Tim versus Batman to Barbara versus Batman, while I wouldn't go as far to say she was about to beat the Dark Knight or anything, it is still obviously more impressive than what Tim Drake was able to do. So Barbara has likely trained since the New 52.
Man, hold up, man. I tried playing this game. Let me see if I can stop it right there.
The Dark Knight or anything, it is still obviously more impressive than what Tim Drake was able to do. So, Barbara...
I tried playing this game, bro. I really fucking did. Because this was cool. It was a cool concept. Gotham Knights. I didn't care if Batman died. I know some people talk about, why do I want to play a game without Batman? Like, dude, y'all wanted to have other characters other than Batman, and y'all can't accept this shit. That shit was fucking annoying to me. But then this game didn't really help my argument because it felt flat. Here's the thing. It would have been a really cool concept if they did more of like the Robin internal shit rather than this whole shit that they did. Or just like a moment in where they have to... I can't explain. It just felt flat to me. So honestly, yeah. If they were to do one, and again, I probably, because I just love. I was about to say it. I was about to say it, but I caught myself. I love Nightwing, so a Nightwing game would go fucking hard to me. Solo Nightwing game would go hard, and then slowly introduce like other characters and shit like that. Eventually have like a Teen Titans or a Titans game. That would be fucking cool. Kind of like what the Avengers did, but better. That Avengers game that they had like a few years ago, but so much better. All right.
Has likely trained since the New 52, splitting hairs, like I said. Catwoman could be a surprising placement, but it's for sure not unwarranted. In Catwoman number 50 from 2022, she easily defeats Punchline via a chokehold and armbar. Punchline is basically dead even with Harley, who Catwoman also got the better of in 2025's Gotham City Sirens. So I hate to say it, but Selina is probably beating Barbara,
yes,
Tim Drake, and Damian badly based on this alone. She also defeated Talia al Ghul in 2018's Batman number 30, someone who could match Batman and poison him mid-fight in Batman Incorporated Volume 2, number 13, which both coincides with the official DC YouTube channel calling her a physical match in Black Canary. In 2017, who Selina actually outdid in the Catwoman, Tweety, and Sylvester special number 1 via Fighting Dirty, something Batgirl could never do in that Rebirth run. The 2014 World, according to Batman Guide, states that Selina surpasses Bruce in terms of agility and acrobatics, which are often very useful in a fight. And in 2016's Adventures of the Dark Knight Guide, we learn that Catwoman has actually beaten Batman in the past, which it's safe to say it would be that early New 52 Batman Incorporated version based on, again, that Talia fight, which still proves that there is a big gap between Catwoman and the prior fighters detailed.
Yeah.
Here is where we might find Jason Todd, the Red Hood, who I have broken down in great detail. That's good, because
ain't no way he should have been
I would mainly stake his placement on his performance in Task Force Z number 8 from 2022, where he manages to hold his own against Tim Drake, Nightwing, and Cassandra Cain for some time. I have to stress that per his own words and actions, these three are severely holding back, whereas Jason is mostly not. He is the edgiest among them after all. While Batgirl and Catwoman can take on one of the best BatFamily members
they're not trying to hurt him.
Usually while the other party is injured, keeping up with both Nightwing and Cass, even while they hold back, is just a much better display. Even if feats and statements from later on prove that
Titans, for a lot of the things that they had problems with, most of the fight scenes were fucking cool, man. And Nightwing versus Red Hood topped that fucking list. It's what I hope Nightwing and Deathstroke would have been in their final fight, but obviously there was like too many cuts and it just felt like very clippy and not very smooth. But Nightwing versus Red Hood was peak. This fight and the one where they were in the woods, that was dope. Also, the fight where Dick got shot in the neck, that was wild. And died. And been brought to life back by the Lazarus pit. But nah, this shit was this fight was one of the top tier fights that they had.
Of those heroes could have one-shot Red Hood if they really wanted to, and weren't holding back on their black sheep of a brother. This is Jason's best feat, far and away, but you can watch my most recent video all about Red Hood, because he could actually go way lower on the list when you look at the big picture. I mean, I'm going to be generous to him for once and apply this feat, but if you really did not want to be, then he might be weaker than a couple of cops.
Really?
Azrael, the devout saint of Gotham, might be a true sleeper inclusion. In the Rebirth Detective Comics run from 2017, we see Jean Paul best a simulation designed to stump Batman, which is then backed up by...
Talk over it. I really thought, okay, so we're not necessarily going off of Tom King's list. We'll just put Adam B. Okay, that's cool. It's fine.
His ability to take on Cassandra Cain and Batwoman at the same time. He then undertakes mental conditioning, overlaying all of Bruce's best qualities onto his already near Cassandra Cain level skills. battles. This makes Azrael a better overall combatant than Bruce Wayne, at least at this time, who admitted he would lose to Cass outright. Around then, Red Hood as well admitted he could not take Batman in a fair fight, akin to Tim versus Damian or Kate versus Bruce, which I think goes to show how much Tim, Dick, and Cass were holding back on Jason in Task Force Z. Not to mention, like I pointed out in the prior video about Jason, his current suit is very unremarkable, so even circumstantial victories he was able to achieve through cheating are no longer accessible to him. Ghostmaker would also slot in around here, as he was designed to be a shonen-style rival to Batman, and even beat him outright in his 2021 debut. While he has trained to keep up with Bruce, he's mostly been phased out of recent issues, resulting in little scaling as of late. And the bronze third-place medal goes to the Dark Knight himself. As he stands now, barring any fatigue, he should be better than ever.
That
he
means
sports upgraded equipment, like I
two.
said, and Rom V's Detective Comics run saw Bruce undertake a spirit quest to rejuvenate his soul. The very next run by Tom Taylor sees Wayne benefit from a medical procedure, mostly restoring him to his youth with faster synapses and new strength. Even prior to all of that, he was able to bully Jason with little effort in Catwoman number 57 from 2023. In Hush 2, Jason does seem to do a lot better against Batman, but if you read the full story, Bruce had already been nearly killed by the Joker prior to Jason fighting him, and Batman is just willingly Jason's punching bag here. Same goes for Nightwing. He loves Jason, even though Red Hood is more likely to not hold back against Grayson. Azrael has admittedly fallen off in recent years as he went back to Monastery and got rusty. And he would only be better than a prior iteration of Bruce, which he himself has since surpassed as Batman, pretty much only improves every time we see him as he trains and upgrades his equipment. Of course, he is the benchmark in the sense that most characters I've listed admit they couldn't beat him in a fair fight, and he's improved since Catwoman or Azrael rivaled him in the past. But without a doubt, Nightwing would follow Batman as possibly the best overall combatant in the BatFamily. Bruce calls him the toughest hand-to-hand fighter out of all the Robins, even after Task Force Z. And of course, I have another 30-minute video, which is very successful.
I watched this video. Monetized. One day for me. One day for me. One day for me. No, but this right here, I reacted to this one. I love this fucking video. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it. And it's a lot of facts in this video, so you guys go to his it's Crisis, the channel's name, and I say go check it out, because this right here is pretty cool.
Successfully made the case that the first Robin had surpassed his mentor some time ago, and he's even upgraded his arsenal in recent issues. Every single thing I said in that video still stands, but the long and short of it is, Nightwing defeated a Batman made stronger via his metal hand and a far more ruthless mental identity, driving Bruce to cut loose against his closest allies in December 2023's Batman number 138. And again against a lethal werewolf Batman, channeling all of Bruce's skills with zero restraint in Beast World number 2 around that time. Nightwing was actually weakened, as his own book revealed that he was infected by fear toxin in that same 117 window, and yet he still managed to improve as a fighter since then, and after being cured of the poison, he managed to embarrass foes which could defeat him earlier in Tom Taylor's storyline. So Grayson is likely far more capable than he was when he defeated amped versions of Batman. When it comes to Nightwing versus Cassandra Cain, it actually is genuinely contentious. The second Batgirl basically came out of the gate in 1999 as a superior martial artist compared to Bruce Wayne, and she retained that pedigree when reintroduced in the DC Rebirth era. But, as I already proved, Grayson too has long been established as capable of outperforming his father for years. Even a guidebook in 1989 said the two were equal fighters. In post-Crisis, we saw Nightwing actually fighting Cass for a prolonged period, even managing to one-shot her at one time. Then, when Bruce Wayne went missing, Batgirl would sooner assemble an entire team to replace Batman rather than just do so herself. Whereas Dick eventually stepped into the role and would thrive as the new and improved Dark Knight. And in more modern times...
This is the first ad. Damn ads. Come on. Can I skip it, or is we gonna play it throughout? Damn it.
You dream about moments like this. My goodness. The fastest female track and field star.
Right. Despite Bruce admitting inferiority to Cass, by the time we get to Gotham War, he one-shots her with his grapple gun, only to then lose to Nightwing. Prior to that, in Batman vs. Robin, Damian noted how Grayson was always going to be the first one to draw blood against a demon-amped Batman, even with Cass as a part of the offense. I know I've been kind of harsh to Harley Quinn in this video, but in Birds of Prey 2023 number 1, we do see the Clown Princess of Crime nearly beat Cass via being unpredictable, with guidebooks clarifying that Quinn could also fight off Batman for that very same reason. This might make Catwoman actually a lot more competitive with the high tiers, so maybe Heroes in Crisis wasn't too far off the mark, given that she was able to outmaneuver the entire Trinity. The issue is, like I said, Harley shares parity with Punchline, with the latter being totally bullied by Nightwing in Joker. This would either add consistency to Nightwing just being a better fighter than Cassandra, but it could also just inform how Harley's unpredictability can give her an edge against specifically heroes that haven't fought her very often. Catwoman and Nightwing would be able to predict Harley a lot better than possibly even Cassandra, just because of their greater experience in dealing with her. I don't know what Bruce's excuse was, but whatever. In the New 52, Cass was able to make quick work of Grayson, but like I said,
that's what I was talking
as
about.
is the case with many of these martial artists, their growth and improvements cannot be ignored. They are always training to defeat themselves from the day before and surpass any new challenges.
And I still say this, and I want to say this. Brenton Thwaites, Nightwing, and Ben Affleck's Batman in one universe would have been so cold, bro. It would have been so good. That was the perfect Batman casting and the perfect Nightwing casting. Top tier. And DC couldn't figure it out. I'll never forgive them for that shit. No matter how good that DC can do from that, I will never forgive them for that shit.
Same time, Batgirl is able to train Nightwing as they spar, and Black Canary considers her the best fighter on the planet in the current Birds of Prey book. As alluded to before, Tom King's Black Canary Best of the Best, released in 2025, sees Canary surpassing Lady Shiva to become the #1 martial artist in DC. So Canary's word holds a lot of weight. In that same Birds of Prey run, Cass is able to hold her own against Wonder Woman, who Bruce has noted as the best melee fighter in post-Crisis, with many guides released since then upholding Diana as the ultimate warrior. This is a very impressive example of growth for Cassandra, as in Red Hood and the Outlaws 2016 number 15, she is deftly defeated by Artemis. However, years later, she is able to press the ultimate Amazonian warrior for at least some time. In the current Batgirl book, Cassandra is actually making huge strides, as she can defeat an assassin which had previously blitzed and bested her via seemingly superhuman speed. So it's possible that her poor showings against Batman are outdated. As it stands, I think Nightwing vs. Cass is closer than a lot of fans might think, but for now, I'd say that Grayson's best bet is to lean on ranged combat, as both Batman and even Nightwing's weapons have taken care of Batgirl in the past. However, in sheer hand-to-hand, Cassandra has earned more flowers from the true top-of-the-top martial artists like Canary, Shiva, and even Wonder Woman compared to Nightwing. Which isn't to say those characters haven't complimented Grayson before.
Nice,
Wonder Woman and her rival Cheetah have actually praised his skill and speed. It's just that Batgirl has been characterized to be closer to that tier when looking at the very cutting edge of DC's power scaling. So in terms of hand-to-hand, Cass is the #1 fighter, but maybe with standard equipment included, Nightwing might hold the title, as long-ranged weapons like grapple guns or wrist darts seem to be a weakness of the second Batgirl. With all that said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
That was cool, man. I might try the next one. Did Batman Beyond ever surpass the original Batman? I might try that next week, maybe. But nah. So I'm fine with this. I kind of like the list. He threw in some ones, Azrael and Ghost something. I'm not sure. I don't even know who the fuck that was really. Anyways, but yeah. Nightwing better than Batman. And I don't mind him being #2 when it comes to Cassandra Cain, because Cassandra Cain, like he just said, is probably like the best, hand-to-hand fighter. But if Nightwing uses like long-range weapons, then that's Cassandra Cain's weakness. So if Cassandra Cain's 1A and Nightwing's 1B, I'm totally fine with that. Let's see, just keep watching this dude like Crisis. I'm telling you, exit out. Crisis right here, man. Subscribe. I'm gonna subscribe. Actually, I have not done it. I thought I did. Subscribed. Give me those notifications. Give me all notifications. I'm gonna like this video. All right. That was cool. Anyways, you guys, I want to say thank you for watching. How do you feel about the list, comic book fans, Batman fans, whatever? I enjoyed this list. This was pretty cool. But like I said, the list can be ever changing though, because they're all just trying to get better than the day before. Especially Batman with his ass. Every time he loses, he's like, I gotta upgrade my armor. I have to. And he can't go to Alpha for that shit, so he gotta do it by himself. Get Lucius Fox to help him. He got no butler to carry his shit around anymore. Rest in peace, Alfred. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share. If you want. Please stay safe out there, you guys. The world's getting crazier and crazier by the minute. See you guys in the next video.